Okay, today we're going to talk about different ways of shading, not just taking a pencil and changing pressure as far as darkness and lightness. We're going to talk about shadings with pen particularly. You could use pencil, colored pencil, but you're going to be shading with lines and dots and scumbling and things like that. Okay, so this could be called hatching or cross hatching. Hatching would be making lines, okay, and cross hatching would be crossing over your lines. This is a value scale very similar to value scales that you make in drawing classes, where when you have a lot of lines or hatch marks, you have very low value, and as you add more, your value gets darker, darker, darker. So you can make a value scale by shading with lines as well, okay? Sometimes we use what's called contour hatching if you want the object to not be flat looking on your paper. So this apple, for instance, here is shaded with the lines, but the lines follow the contour of the shape to help make the objects appear more 3D. If I drew an apple right here and I had my lines going straight up and down and side to side, it would just appear to be a circle with a stem, okay? So cross hatching is when you use these layers of hatching placed at an angle. Usually the first layer will be vertical, the next one horizontal, and you cross over and over to get darker, darker. And here are some examples of things that have been crossed hatch. Here is some kind of a bag or briefcase. Here's a fist, a cat, cups. Here you can see that contour hatching going on. That might even be done in pencil. Here's some obvious shapes and forms set up in like a still life situation. Here's a dragon where you can see the very dark lines being made with the pen. In the dark areas, lots and lots of lines, and in the lighter areas, there's less lines. There's a portrait and another portrait. I like the cheekbones particularly. Okay, you can also shade by using dots, and some people call this stippling, where when you take an ink pen and you make dots, 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 and where they're closer together, it appears darker, and where they're more spread out, it appears lighter in a value scale. So here's a value scale as well, and here's one that is blended using tiny dots. Here's a portrait done with dots, a raccoon, a rose. These are very time consuming to do, especially on a large scale. However, they're also very gratifying to do, meaning when you do it, you're like, wow, this is just, it's a great deal of information to look at, and I can't think of the word right now. It just makes you feel good inside that you accomplished it. Lack of vocabulary here today. Portraits. Love this lizard or iguana. The third type of shading you could do is called scumbling, and it is often called the Brillo pad technique. It uses layers of small scribbly marks, okay? And you can vary the direction. So here is a little bit of cross-hatching, but it's not done as nicely. And here is just scribbling. I do that a lot as well. I don't have any examples of these. You know, when you zoom in, that's dots. I don't have any examples per se of scumbling, but you will start to see it in drawings and things. Okay, I just wanted to show you these techniques that could be done with a pen.